Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hello. Welcome. Well, let's go ahead and start. Well, let me wait. Because, people are, oh, are you live? Mm-hmm. Okay. Hi, boom. When you come in, hit the light. 3, 3. Hit the light. Okay, so. Mm-hmm. Happy Sunday. Today's the energy of the sun. Today is the 2nd of June. I guess let's go ahead and just talk about the energy that I've been feeling that we're moving into. So I reposted a lot of things on TikTok about the astrological world. I want to go ahead and let you guys know that June is a very fruitful month. It has a lot of unlocking energy. I had noticed that I had been very drawn to mangoes, and I looked up what mangoes are, and it had to do with Lord Ganesh. And Lord Ganesh is, I'd say, a goddess of the Hindu culture, and Lord Ganesh is the elephant. And what I think is very interesting is that today I saw a video of an elephant in, I want to say South Africa, or it's just in the continent of Africa, that the elephant had been in chains for 31 years. And they were releasing the elephant from the chains. Can you do heart for me, please? I don't know what that means. So the elephant was in chains, and then the elephant had been released from chains for the last 31 years. So what I thought was so interesting was hold on, let me take care of this. There we go. Okay. And so one of the things that I've noticed is that when Venus was in Taurus, it kind of had this very in an energy of finding comfort. Whether if you were finding comfort at home or finding comfort with people, it just was a feeling of comfort. Now, we are moving into a lot of planets that are in Gemini, which is going to cause there to be a lot of magician energy. One of the biggest things that I keep seeing is that the magician energy is like I'm doing all this, and then there's other things happening in the background. I mean, my biggest thing is the fact that it's just like, ignore it. I think we don't understand how much power ignoring things have on things that are trying to trick us, finesse us, or cause us to have a lack of attention, or to break our focus, to distract us. Ignoring things it isn't an acknowledgement as if you don't see it. Ignoring it is not letting it get the like whole power from you. And when I seen Lord Ganesh is a symbolism of clearing. Okay. Lord Ganesh is a symbolism of like destruction. Makes me think of when elephants come through, how they basically can stomp through anything. It also makes me think of that elephant that that lady killed her baby, and she came and trampled the lady that killed her baby, and then came back and did it on her grave. At the funeral. So this is also the energy of like, a lot of memory, a lot of things that people like they are going to remember a lot of things. And I think just because somebody didn't say anything or they didn't act upon it doesn't mean that they forgot. And I feel like that's a lot of the energy that's happening when we step into Gemini seasons, that it's nobody forgot what happened. And just because nobody acknowledged it or nobody's talking about it doesn't mean that it's been forgotten or you've been forgiven. I feel like there's a lot of energy of grudges. There's a lot of energy of like rituals, and a lot of like backfiring energy. I feel like that is a that in itself is a little bit scary in this time, because one thing that I learned about Gemini season and Gemini energy is the fact of that it gives you the ability to feel like you are magic, and that's good. I feel like we all need to feel that energy, that we feel like we're magic, that we feel that we can create things and manifest, quickly, and, that we can call things in. I think that that's something that, I love about the energy, but it also causes for people to do things out of spite, It causes for them to feel like, oh, I need to seek revenge. And both the twins are not on one accord in that case. There's not a human in this world that needs to seek revenge when there's Saturn in Pisces. Because every lesson is happening because of something that needs to be closed out in a past life, or something that needs to be closed out from a different lifetime. One of the scariest things that I'm coming across is the fact of that the world doesn't see anything besides what happened in the actual physical past. Like when I say physical past, meaning like the world doesn't see anything past of what they are used to, what they feel like they've grown into, what they feel like they understand. I was in the store. I wasn't in the store. I was at Kava today, and I'm standing behind a group of white people, and there was space like right here, and then there was a big space right there. This lady decided she was gonna squeeze herself through there, but she thought that she was gonna be able to squeeze herself through there without saying excuse me. And I used to do this subconsciously, not thinking nothing of it, of just being polite to just, move out the way for, somebody that's walking, because you would do the same for me. And I realized that they do that because of the fact of they're programmed to have this entitlement that in reality they abuse that power. Now, white people were not white in a past life. They weren't. Black people weren't all black people in a past life. You were different ethnicities, and when you come into this lifetime a certain ways, because you have to overcome the lesson of whatever it is. White people's lesson that they have to overcome is their entitlement. Okay, they have to. They really have to. And I mean this with so much love. That's why they don't put a fear in my heart. Like they just don't, because I know why you're acting like that. You're acting like that because the lesson between you treating someone as a human and as a heart is really fighting against what you were programmed to think as you were growing up. And that's kind of a prime example of Gemini energy, of that people are taking, how they were raised. They're taking, because Gemini, that is a house of siblings. So they're taking like how they were raised, and they're taking like, how things happen in school, and they're not learning the lesson to understand that you were put in certain situations to overcome obstacles. And I feel like even right now for myself, I've decided to not take things personal, I've decided to just take it as a lesson, you know? And I feel like subconsciously people are taking things more personal because of the fact of it's triggering a part of them that they are not familiar with. They don't understand it. So if they don't understand it, they're automatically assuming that it has something to do with them personally. And since since Lilith will be going into Libra fairly soon, I think my biggest thing for everybody to understand is when there's a lot of air in the world, that means there's a lot of thoughts in the world. And, you know, the biggest phrase that I use, and I feel like God tells me all the time, you don't get paid to think. You don't get paid to think. You don't get paid to think. Your thoughts do not always create physical cash. You know, it's an energetic thing. Sometimes your mind has to release it. Feminine energy is going to be at the top of the list of this season. And I'm not just talking about Gemini season. I'm just talking about in general because the Lord Ganesh thing keeps coming up. Lord Ganesh, she tramples through everything. One of the things that I read about Lord Ganesh, hold on, I want to share this. Lord Ganesh is the Hindu god with the head of an elephant and the body of a human. Two different creatures, such as Sagittarius, half man, half horse. And is one of the most important deities in Hinduism. Oh my God, I thought Lord Ganesh was a woman. Sorry. He is the god of beginnings, prosperity, and wisdom, and is known as the remover of obstacles and bringer of good luck. He is also the patron of writers, students, travelers, and commerce, and they're traditionally worshipped by any major undertaking. Writers, students, travelers, and commerce. Gemini is the planet of communication, talking, air element, thoughts. Also, students, teaching, communication, also perspective. And then the sister sign of Gemini is Sagittarius, which is the traveler's energy. You know, what I feel is probably like one of the, you can't downplay what's astrologically happening right now because everything that's astrologically happening can be beneficial to you. When Mars goes into Taurus, Jupiter has been in Taurus the last year. What have you expanded when it comes to your resources, your self-love, your self-worth, your relationships, and how you speak? Because that's going to go into effect. I was a little bit timid when Mars goes into Taurus because I think people don't realize how stubborn Taurus are and how bullheaded they are. And if you ever think about a bull and how, like in those little, whatever they're called, when the bull's like running around and they got red in their eyes and they're like huffing and puffing and, you know, they have a target in mind. That's exactly how people are directing their energy. And that's why you should be directing your energy to be more magnetic because it's going to come back tenfold. But it also comes with the lessons that you've learned over time with the Lord the last year. I feel like a lot of people don't want to acknowledge the lessons that they've learned because they'd have to go back on some things that they said. One of the things that I have to say that I'm like always open about is like, I used to really support a lot of people that like now I'm like, God, I really understand why you didn't want me supporting them. I can always say like, hey, I was wrong about that. Or hey, that was true. But one thing that I'm noticing, and I'm noticing tenfold, is the fact that, and I just posted this video on my Instagram where the girl was like, if I get the feeling of that I shouldn't tell you something anymore, if I get the feeling that I have to use my discernment around you, if I get these feelings, it's the fact of you have to go. Jupiter and Taurus has gotten everybody into that energy because people make things more chaotic than they have to be. Regardless if you understand why you have to be separated from somebody or separated from something, does not matter. The comprehension of another person's, you know what I'm saying, like removal of you is not a big deal. And I feel like people take a lot of things personal. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that they subconsciously have already been caught. Okay, like they've been caught. And I feel like they don't know that they don't know that it's all a part of a plan. And a part of the plan is to not allow the right hand to know what the left hand is doing. Gemini energy, the magician. Hold on. The elephant's trunk symbolizes intellectual strength, adaptability, and efficiency. Who else represents that? Gemini, air element. There's also a lot of things going on with the crown. Mercury enters Gemini tomorrow. Look, I can't never truly put my finger on why I describe the things I describe, but I be knowing why it kind of come into instance of like, why do we need to talk about this? Because the astrological events, you can't go around them. Mercury's gonna be in Gemini while we're in Gemini season. People be lying. You're only talking for one twin. Also, the new moon will be in Gemini. Your new manifestations, I was just telling somebody in the private live that I did on, well, it's not a private live, it was like a soul cousin meetup, like on Patreon last night. And we was talking about how like, one of our soul cousins was saying how she needed to journal more. And I was like, to be honest with you, because there's so much air energy, I would just go ahead and type this shit out on my phone. I would type it out on my phone. I would type that shit out on my laptop. I just write that bitch down. Like, I would just constantly write down thoughts because of the fact of like, some thoughts you're going to realize you need to like write them down, take out the sheet of paper, rip it up and throw it in the trash. Because you don't want that energy to manifest. Like you don't want certain emotions to manifest in the world. Like I personally don't want my aggravation to manifest in the world. So I might talk it out, laugh about it, see it from a different perspective and go about my day. Put my hands up. Boom. I don't want to if I'm going to talk about something in this energy, I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to allow myself to talk about it from a new perspective. I'm not going to revisit old pain. I'm not going to revisit old hurt. Like if I haven't healed from it, or if I can't laugh at it, I'm not going to bring it up because it's going to manifest in the world. Everybody and everything is a mirror to you right now. So if you want a certain outcome out of a person or a certain thing, you need to check yourself. If you want something that's blissful, you want something happy, are you blissful? Are you happy? And not saying you can control other people, but because there's so much air energy, the mind is a very powerful thing. Putting that energy out there on an intellectual level, literally, and what I just keep seeing, like Lord Ganesh, sorry, not Lord Ganesh. The elephant that I keep seeing, the elephant even does this thing where, I don't know if they moved her to another place or because they unlocked it, whatever. She has 300 acres to be able to move freely on. And one of the things that she was doing was that she was moving very like slowly because she couldn't figure out like, like what was really going on. Was she truly free? Or was there going to be a point in her that she walked and then the chain was going to jerk back? You know what I mean? That's how we look right now. So it's like, there's this too good to be true energy. It's not. Also, revisiting trauma or basing your current and future experiences off of what happened in the past is going to do nothing but fuck you up. It's gonna fuck you up. Oh shit, I didn't even see all these comments. Hey Bree, is this like gonna be saved? Yeah, they are gonna be saved on YouTube. I'm doing better at that. So keep that in mind. Now back to what I was saying. So Mars enters Taurus on the 8th, which is this week. Okay. Now, I want everybody to be very careful if you're going to be participating in sexual activity. When Mars is in Taurus, it doesn't allow us to just fuck like jackrabbits. It allows us to fuck like we're in love. And we've been in love for centuries and decades and decades and decades. Be careful. Because Venus is the the planet of pleasure. So when Mars is in it, your focus is to create this atmosphere environment that's very pleasurable. Okay. Also pay attention to like you know, pay attention to when people are trying to argue. Are they arguing because of, you know, it doesn't even matter why they're arguing. Don't argue with people in Mars and Taurus, because a lot of people are arguing they're arguing based off their own insecurity and not what actually happened between you guys. Pay attention. Okay. It's not. Venus enters Cancer. Okay, this is a great aspect. Okay, I love that this energy is happening, because this actually, because Cancers have learned Capricorn energy, Capricorns have learned Cancer energy, Cancers have become a lot more stricter about who they let in their home. This is going to be a good time because of the fact of this is like where you get to play and have fun, but you are a little bit more cautious about who you play and have fun with, or that this creates a very solid foundation with people. So like if you were at this stage with friends, now you're at this stage with your friends. If you were at this stage with your man or woman, now you're at this stage. Venus in Cancer brings people closer together, okay? It either going to bring them closer together, and you know, you never know if you'll deal with somebody or you'll like them until you guys are in the environment together, okay? This is where this happens. So like this brings the people at the workplace closer. This brings, you know what I'm saying, friends closer. It either brings you closer or far apart. I feel like if during this transit things are being brought far apart, it's not going to work. It doesn't mean you need to change the environment. It doesn't mean you need to handle the situation differently. I'm telling you, it's not going to work. That is the dark side of the moon trying to tell you to follow that intuition, because there's an illusion being painted here. When Venus is in Cancer and we're in Gemini season, and then we go into Cancer season, and Cancers have understand the structure and the stability behind having a very nice foundation when it comes to who to get cozy to. If you guys are here and you move here, there was an illusion being painted. Nothing will be brought far apart if it is meant to be. I promise. Because Mars is in Taurus. People are very stubborn to go after what they want, and they're going to actively pursue it. They're going to actively make it work. So here, it's either going to be here or it's going to be here. Pay this attention. I mean this with jobs. I mean this with friends, family, whatever it is. Here or here. There's no in between. It's either clear or it's not. It's like the moon. When the moon is out, whether it's a full moon, it's a half moon, it's a fourth of a moon. When the moon is out, the only thing that illuminates the darkness is the moon. There are times where we have it where there's no moon. You can't see nothing. The whole sky is just pitch black dark. That is the illusion that's being painted. If it can't shine while it's dark, it ain't going to work when the sun come out. Okay? Mercury enters Cancer too. Once again, literally the day after Venus moves in Cancer, Mercury moves into Cancer. What I love about when the transits move together, when it comes to like Mercury and Venus, is the fact of that when Jupiter is in an air sign, I love it because of the fact of that it's always going to be self-worth thoughts, self-worth communication, relationships, learning, you know what I'm saying? Like relationships, learning, like it's always going to be hand in hand. Like they're never going to not be next to each other. And I like it because of the fact that it's making people step up to the plate to where they don't want to speak up for themselves. The last year Jupiter was in Taurus wasn't just for everybody to just understand, oh, self-worth and money and boundaries and foundation and comfort. Blah, blah, blah. No, it was also for you to learn how to speak up for yourself. People that feel worthy of who they are and see self-value in themselves, never mind speaking. This is why I also realized that when Jupiter is in Gemini, it brings everybody in a wake-up call because they feel like there's only one way to communicate. I had a girl comment on my thing. I deleted the whole video because the energy of it gave very nice, nasty, and it was just kind of like, you want me to act a certain way or you want me to be a certain way to be feasible for you that you find acceptable, and it's not. I don't care. You know, and this is a wake-up call for people because a lot of people have fallen victim to whatever society has said that they should be as the role that they are, or they fall victim into the illusion that their home, like their home life has placed them about people, to where it's like, oh, well, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That is correct. But not a but, because I don't want to contradict what I'm saying. I want to add that sometimes the truth hurts, and it doesn't really hurt. It just stings a little bit. People are not accustomed to speaking their truth without there being like, well, if I don't have anything nice to say, I'm not going to say anything at all. So now what you've done is you self-betrayed what you truly feel because of the fact of you felt like it wasn't nice. Or you have generalized somebody's role as a woman or a man, or what they can and cannot say because of the fact that, oh, you're a woman, you shouldn't say that. People need to hear the truth, your truth, a truth. This is why I'm always so big with Gemini energy of like, make sure the twins on one accord, because if one twin is talking, the other twin doesn't agree, it's gonna show. So just make sure they're on one accord, because you won't feel triggered, you won't feel bothered. And if you are triggered and you are bothered, at least you process it by yourself and not projecting it onto that person. A lot of energy is being projected out, and I feel like a lot of people are trying to project and then play victim. You can't project into people's energy, you can't project into their thoughts, you can't project into their environment, and then when they either ignore because it doesn't actually hold any weight in their life, or they address it, you can't then be like, oh, it wasn't anything like that. You can play pussy if you want, but there are people out here that's like, no, play pussy, get fucked. It's the truth. Nobody's going to sit around and just let you attack them energetically, or let you attack them mentally, or attack them verbally, or attack them. You can't attack people's character. You're not going to attack their spirituality. You're not going to attack people and then be like, oh, well, I was just saying what I need to say. What you were saying was based off an opinion that wasn't a fact in the entire situation. And you can tell because of the fact that people that are going to allow the facts to be presented in the situation, there's honestly not an issue. You talk about the issue, you voice your opinion, there's acknowledgement, there's understanding, it's either agreeing or I digress, and you move on. Holding on to shit is really going to bother people because of the fact that you have too much things to think about. So now you're holding on to a situation you were meant to release if you just would have communicated the truth. Now your mind's running off that. Your mind can't even run off a more healthy version of yourself and a healthy version with you and somebody else, because your mind is still stuck on what you didn't say. Your mind is still stuck on what wasn't presented in the conversation, or what you didn't present with yourself. You have to be forward thinking in these times. When Mercury's in Cancer, I feel like a lot of people, they get very sentimental. Like when it's in Pisces, Pisces don't like confrontation. You know what I'm saying? They be, I don't really want to, I don't want to step in it. Yeah, fuck that. When it's in Cancer, people are very sentimental, where they overthink other people's emotions. I'm not saying disregard their emotions, but overthinking someone's emotions during this time is going to have you in past thinking, because now what you're trying to think about is, well, what did their mother do in order for them to be like this? What did their father do in order for them to be like this? What did their grandma? You're thinking and putting yourself in these mental conflicts of things that are keeping you chained, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what somebody's family has done for them or what they have gone through. They have the ability every day to put themselves in a very independent place to think for themselves. This is where that structure and that security over foundation comes into play. Because don't forget, Cancer rules the 4th house, which is the roots, meaning that it brings up also ancestral healing. A lot of you guys will be healing your ancestors when it comes to speaking, you know what I'm saying, and allowing your thoughts to be projected into the world for this new perspective. You're healing by the way you speak. I don't care who you have a conversation with. You're healing by the way you speak. You're healing by the leaps of faith that you're taking. Yes, as I said in the, I think it was one of the videos on Patreon, I was like, yes, it is a good opportunity, but is it the best opportunity for you? We've all been presented with good people. We've all been presented with good things, but is it the best opportunity for you? The grass will never be greener everywhere. And yes, they're like, oh, it's wherever you water it. That is true. I just want you to know is that, are you even going to take the leap of faith to figure out if the grass is greener over there at all? You know, I feel like one other thing that this transit, when we get to this Cancer transit in the middle of April, not April, excuse me, in the middle of June, what it's really going to do is, and I love this, but you know, a lot of people are scared of this. It's really going to make you either shit or get off the pot. We don't need to pacify you. Like, you're gonna have to choose. You can't sit between two options and just be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna see. No, you have to be able to go all in. People, they're fearful of that. Jupiter and Gemini is putting you forward thinking that either go all in or not. Okay. So Vista is the asteroid of this is the asteroid of Mercury? No, of Venus, excuse me. So it says, and it enters Leo. Leo energy right now is so strong because it's given spotlight. It's given spotlight. Okay? It's given spotlight. The sun is really, when the sun is in Gemini, or when Jupiter's in Gemini, and when there's a lot of air energy, there's a lot of heat. You know, it's just, it goes hand in hand. When there's a lot of air energy, there's heat. Okay? So it says the spotlight shines on our talents as we encourage to work hard on our strength until they shine. Commit to what you love and focus on making a name for yourself. Stand your ground. And then we have the summer solstice coming up. I love it. Good energy of the summer. This is really going to put everybody in a position to be more open, to be more, you know, they want to talk to people. They want to enjoy. They want to dance. You know, get up here. Let's dance, you know. Fall into that energy heavily. You know, go do things, small things, friends, you know, go shopping, you know, like just fall into that energy. Have girls' nights, have date nights, you know, have guys' nights. Fall into that energy. Stop sitting at home. Stop sitting in the bed. Like, get out there. Like, I don't care if you guys are going to Ross. I don't care if you guys are going to Walmart. I don't care. There's so many different hobbies. You guys just need to get out there and do it, you know. Everything, you don't have to do everything at home. You can even take the things that you would want to do, you know, in the house, go do it at the park. Like, just go put yourself in that energy. It will be very helpful for you because of the fact of that your thoughts will be bumping off of 4 different walls. Okay, your energy cannot deal with that because it needs spotlight energy. It needs the sun. Your energies need other places. You know how I've been looking at it, because I'm a queen of, I just like to spend money sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I am, you know. Everybody hit the like button. Thank you. I love it. Everybody hit the like button. That's my type of energy. So this is a big thing to pay attention to. It's a big thing to pay attention to. Okay? Because you got to put yourself into this energy. One of the things that I like noticed or whatever that I love about myself is the fact of that, you know, I like to be Miss Swipey Swipe Swipe. I can't even lie. And sometimes I try to put my experiences in front of the things that I need because I feel like, oh, well, you know, you need an experience, so you know you won't get that money back. But I realize that sometimes you don't need to just experience everything. Sometimes you're needed to just get things. So how I've been looking at it is like, you know, when I go somewhere and I feel like, you know, like the part of me wants to neglect myself from being, you know, loving and, you know, spoiling myself. I'm always like, you know what, like my energy was needed here. Example, I go to the hair store, whatever, and it's like, you know, it's a lot of sporadic shit. Like me and my girl, like we just get up and just go somewhere, right? And there's this lady in there, and she's like trying to find all these products and these different things so she can do her granddaughter's hair for her pageant. In my mind, it just makes me think of like how many people were actually going to take time out their day to help her, you know, or like I'm on my way to one of my appointments and I'm like, damn, I forgot to give me a goodie powder. There just happens to be a gas station before I get to my appointment. And there's this homeless man out here. And he was like, you know, do you have any spare money? I said, I don't. I said, you want something to eat? He said, if you could, please. And I just took it as wherever I'm going, my energy's needed. So therefore, it's like I'm gonna help in some way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got him this, I got him that. It's not a big deal. I feel like when you look at it like that, when Jupiter's in Gemini, it allows them to bring more energy to you. It allows them to have you to be very magnetic to abundance and magnetic to prosperity. And I feel like the more you do that and you change your perspective, instead of it being like, oh my God, I gotta go buy this again, or oh my God, I dread shopping and I dread this. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, me too, friend. Me too, baby girl. I said, God. And he was like, yes. I was like, we good? He like, yeah, we good. I'm like, 'cause, you know, I don't know what's going on with me. But it puts my energy out there. It's paying off. I'm getting abundance in all different forms and different ways. But I'm not going to lie. Like, y'all, I've had to change my perspective because of the fact of, like, I can't explain it, but it's such a beautiful thing. Like, Jupiter and Gemini just expands your horizon of your mind to not overthink. And when you have even the thought of overthinking, like, it's like it just flips it. And when it flips it, it's just like now your perspective is just heightened and you're envisioning these things. And then it's like, boom, you get abundance in different ways. And it's like, whoa, you got too much energy. You got to be put out there, and your energy is needed in other places. It's needed. You know, I feel like and also like hustle culture. If you haven't watched that live that I did 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, the service was so bad. So I'm so sorry about that. But I talked about hustle culture. Jupiter and Gemini is knocking hustle culture out of the park. And it's crazy because, like, it's so many opportunities to make some more money. And I just feel the energy of, like, you want to go make some more money or you want to just rest and relax. And I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I should. It's like, what are the odds that this is happening now? And it's just like, I don't feel called to go do it. But I feel like it's like a temptation. Like, there's a temptation of hustle culture that keeps coming. So, like, example, let's say, you know what I'm saying, all of a sudden, like, all these things are needed. You know, you're like, damn, I need to go do this. I need to go do that. I need to go do this. And you're like, oh my God, like, I need to be making some more money if I got to do all these things. And I feel like it is a test. I feel like it's a test of temptation to see, are you going to trust in yourself to handle those things without you feeling any lack? It's a test. 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 And I'm like, dang, I didn't know it was going to be happening like that. And he was like, yeah, it's a test. Are you going to allow yourself to be open? Are you going to allow yourself to be vulnerable? Are you going to allow yourself to be, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to allow yourself to do that? And I'm like, I can do that. I can do that. Both my twins are one accord. You know, that twin, the dark twin, that's like, don't do that. And the light twin's like, yeah, don't do that. Like, you know, I don't want to say the angel and the devil, but I want to say one twin and the light twin and the dark twin. The one that's probably like, I don't give a fuck. And then there's one that's probably like, oh, we should care. They're both like, we agree. Your color scheme is changing based off the clothes that you buy, you know, based off how you do your hair, you paint your nails, you go out, you work out, how you express your creative projects. All those are changing. And in order for you to change anything in your life, you have to invest in it. And I feel like we always, you know, I feel like we want change, we see change, we manifest change, we pray for change, and then God be like, okay, well, you know, go do something. And then you're like, oh, well, you know, I'll just do it next week, and I'll do it next week, and I'll keep putting it off. And I feel like, you know, understanding that the spirit of procrastination and the spirit of the spirit of procrastination and the spirit of what was it? The spirit of procrastination and the other one. I can't remember the other word, but that fear, that it's just like, I feel like a lot of people want to step in that lane and say, oh, I'm procrastinating. But a lot of people, you're not procrastinating. It's fear. Because if something keeps getting put into your face, and I always say this, well, I don't always say this, but I just started saying this. Sometimes repetition isn't confirmation. It's are you listening? Okay. And so I feel like, you know, you're just moving out of fear. And I feel like that is going to knock the shit out of you. You have to. You have to. Lord Ganesh energy is very heavy for the month of June. If you want anything to be removed, ask Lord Ganesh. Oh, and then there's a full moon in Capricorn at the end of the month, so that also goes into it. At the end of the month, Saturn will be going to retrograde in Pisces. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. That's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. That's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. But that's it. That's all. If you need help, ask Lord Ganesh. He or she is here to help you. Okay? I just want to get that off my chest. I said I was like, I'm gonna do more lives, so here's the live. But yeah. I'm gonna see y'all later. Saturn and Pisces energy, is it bad? I don't think it's bad. As somebody that has Saturn and Pisces, I never see it as bad. I always saw it as bad when I didn't pick up on my wisdom, or I didn't pick up on my or I didn't pick up that it wasn't from this lifetime, it was from a different lifetime. But other people, they always seem to struggle. I mean, hey, if you can't accept spirituality and structure in spirituality, then hey, I don't really know what to tell you. I feel like once I understood that Pisces ran Jupiter and Neptune, that helped me, because I'm over here just thinking it's just the communication. You know what I'm saying? I need to be more disciplined and structured about how I communicate with God and how I have my spiritual beliefs and, all these things. Like, I'm thinking that's what it's about the whole time. I'm also having to understand that I have to be structured by how I expand, what I expand on, not allowing my subconscious mind to be filled with bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Because all that stuff manifests, I feel like even seeing in like friendships and shit like that, like where you have Pisces in your chart, I want y'all to understand this right now, okay? Where you have Pisces in your chart is, where you have Pisces in your chart, you have to understand that the phases that you go through, once you accomplish whatever phase that you went through, it also results in the people around you. They're either there as a reflection of who you are, a reflection of what you need to do better, or a reflection of part of you that you don't like. Or they're a result of what you could be. So wherever you have Pisces in your chart, I want you to understand that there's a phase of a level up coming. And hey, are you ready? Because one thing that I know about Pisces energy, regardless of where they have Pisces in the chart, Pisces are fucking delusional. Where I have Pisces in my chart, sometimes I could be very delusional. Everybody around me could be like, bro, I won't fuck with her. Like, it's something I write about her. And I'll be like, well, black people. And, that'd be a downfall of myself sometimes. Because, like, I be seeing people as human. And I'm not really, like, a judgmental type of person. Like, I don't believe in, like, I judge those that need to be judged. But, like, I don't judge people like that. It's not that serious for me to judge people like that. But I'm telling y'all that be a part of my delusion. Because the whole time, everybody be like, bro, like, you peep. Yes, I do peep. I've had dreams about the person. I feel the energy's off. My discernment is ringing around this person. But I just be steady like, But I be knowing. And I feel like, when Saturn's in Pisces, wherever you have Saturn in your chart, like, just close out these lessons. Regardless if you understand them or not, just close them out. it's harder than you think when you overthinking it, because you over there trying not to be confrontational, or you're worrying about the outcome of like, oh well, they're not gonna like me anymore, or we're not gonna be friends no more, and all this stuff, and woo woo woo. Like, that's crazy. Like, worrying about the outcome when Saturn is in Pisces is probably the worst thing that you can do, because now you stepping in your own, now you stepping in your own karma. Like, stop that. Now you starting to mix, you know what I'm saying, karmic justice on both ends. Stop that. You know? I peep a lot of things, and I feel like we all peep a lot of things, but where you have Pisces in your chart, like, you just create your own karma. Like, I feel like a lot of Pisces placements have gotten stuck in their energy of being around comfort. They are stuck. They try to be around comfort. Like, I just keep hearing God say, like, a lot of Pisces placements, they like to be stuck around comfort. And when I say comfort, meaning like they're stuck behind people that kind of feed into their delusion in a way. Like, if you a person that, you don't really like try to make like big moves or like changes in your life, and then you're around other people that do shit like that, I mean, hey, here you are. But I feel like one of the lessons that a lot of Pisces are learning is that, you know, if you are taking strides in life, that means that other people around you need to be taking strides in life. If other people ain't taking leaps of faith around you, then you don't need to be around them. Like, other people, they just kind of, you know what I'm saying, like, sliding through life and shit like that, like living life on a sliding basis. I wouldn't fuck with them. Because of the times that we're going into, how can y'all really be around people that ain't taking leaps of faith and shit? How can you really be around people that ain't really like pushing themselves to do something out the norm? You know what I'm saying? Like, testing God to say, look, I heard word on the street is that, you are supportive. Word on the street is saying, like, you really be looking out for people that truly put their faith in you. Like, you got to test God. Like, I heard you be, I heard you be really rocking with people. Like, not trying to be funny, but I'm being serious. Like, that's the type of energy you're going to have towards people and God right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't really rock with nobody right now, and regardless of where we are in our relationship. I can't truly invest in anybody right now that ain't trying to make no changes about themselves. Like, because I already know what I'm moving. I already know what I'm trying to do. Okay? I ain't trying to fuck around to fuck around. I got shit to do and people to see and places to go. You know what I'm saying? And I got to make sure I make the smartest move possible. And I need people around me that's either going to support it, they're going to be on that shit, and they're going to move on that shit. If you ain't trying to do it, get out of my face. You do. A lot of people are going to go through a glow up very quickly. You will lose friends very quickly. You will lose family members very quickly. You're going to lose a lot of things very quickly. People's statuses are changing now that Jupiter's out of Taurus. When things are in Taurus, they're more grounded. They're more on earth. They're not really, you know what I'm saying? They're not really like big. They're more like a house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see no house in the sky. You see a house being built. And the only time you can see the house being built, you know what I'm saying? Or how it end up, like how they finish the house off is that actually if you drove by it, drove to it, you know what I'm saying? But like when we have when we have a planet of expansion and stuff and perspective and higher philosophy and stuff like that, we have that in air energy. It's up in the sky. Everybody can see it. If something went up in the sky right now, somebody on the other side of town could be like, I saw that too. That's exactly how this is. Only people that would see things on the earth level are people that are actually on that side of town, or you drove over there. You got to just either come across a house, or you got to know a house being built for you to know that, you know what I'm saying, where to go. You got to have directions. When things are flying in the air, you don't need direction. You just see it. So it's just like everything is going to be up in the air. People's status is going to change quickly. Even though flying is probably one of the most, they say it's scary. Flying is still one of the most safest transportations in order for you to get somewhere. Flying somewhere gets you somewhere faster than it does driving. Okay? So you driving, and a trip that normally would take you 3 hours is a 45-minute flight. Think about it. Think about that in a physical form. Something that probably took you 3 months to do. Something that probably took you, a whole year to do. A lot of things that y'all started to do at the beginning of Jupiter and Taurus, or you started to do when Jupiter was in Aries, Like, you couldn't truly get it off the ground when the last 2 years, because when Jupiter was in Aries, it was impulsive. You didn't really know what to do just yet. You just kind of had to show that you had faith and you had bravery to get it cracking, right? Jupiter been in Taurus the last year. You had to show that you can actually be rooted into it. You can stay sturdy in it. You had a foundation of it. Shit still probably wasn't rocking. Now that it's in Gemini, you can literally put a blueprint into physical form. And it's going to go fast. Taurus is like trying to find the right soil, or trying to find the right lot, or like trying to find the right car. Gemini energy is when you actually like execute the plan. Like, you might say you want a BMW X6 M50i, and you look all over the United States and don't nobody have the one you want. All of a sudden you start putting in your research, you find one that's in Madrid. So now you got the car that's in Madrid, everything that you want, and you get it flown here. So yeah. So it's like that whole time that you was trying to find the right car, hell, now you also have found a better bank to finance it with. You've also found like different parts. You found a mechanic. Like, you found all these things. Now the air energy is like, oh, well, now I can go get the car in Madrid, or now I can go get the car out of Belgium. And Like, I feel like we had to understand small strides before you understand long strides. And one thing that I know that God really wants everybody to understand is that the perspective and the mentality a lot of you guys need in order for you to keep all the things that you manifest, you had to be able to secure a foundation of your mental, emotional, financial, spiritual foundation. Thank you. If you can hold that down, then when shit go up in the air or shit start flying to you quickly, you're not going to trip. Can you hold, like, if you can hold that down, if you can hold that mentality down, if you can hold that foundation down, then when shit go in the air, you'll be fine. When things start actually, you have the energy and the momentum, So it's just like a lot of people was really starting to get depressed about that. Like, they're really starting to get depressed about, like, damn, I'm procrastinating, or, like, damn, like, I'm really, like, I'm unaligned right now. Are you unaligned, or are you conserving energy? I'm telling you, you didn't have enough momentum to get in that vortex field. And I feel like that's something that we truly don't understand. Like, we listen to Abraham Hicks, and it makes me think of when she said of like, I remember one I was watching about the lottery or something, and she was like, you could say you want to win the lottery a lot, and yes, the universe hears you, and then one day you just happen to come into that vortex field, and when you get into that vortex field, and you cultivate the energy, and you keep trying, and you keep stepping into it, and you keep every day you wake up, and then you say, I want to win the lottery, and I want to win the lottery, and I want to win a whole bunch of money, and I want to unexpectedly find something, and I want a surprise, and you can't figure out, well, why is it not happening, and why can't I get it? Because you're not in the vortex field. And then one day you're sitting there and you're walking around, and you go into a gas station and you pay $1 and you get a lottery ticket and you win the jackpot. Why? Because you have walked into the energetic vortex field. Vortex field. I would want to walk into the vortex field when Jupiter's in Gemini, because of the fact of that is something that is going to fly to me quickly. Geminis are the hummingbirds. They're very zzz, zzz. That's why everybody be like, oh, Geminis are flighty. They are. They're going with the wind. Bullseye. Damn, that just confirmed so much, and I just got chills. The inner childs have I seen this little boy on TikTok, and he was on the ground. His mom was like, I thought my son was out here playing the whole time I come out there, and he was out on the ground in fetal position, crying. Well, he wasn't in fetal position, but he was on his hands and his knees, and he was on the ground. He was crying, and he was saying, thank you, God, with all this gratitude. And everybody was like, that's a war cry. The inner childs are going to go through a war cry, where their battle for neglect, and their battle for insecurity, and their battle for they're just the battle of wound, like the wound battle of like everything that they went through, of like showing God, gratitude for how they kept them very grounded. The inner child is, if you're gonna cry, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. You're either gonna cry now or you're gonna cry in a couple of days. You're gonna cry by the end of Gemini season. You're just gonna cry because of the fact of that something miraculous is going to happen, or something's gonna come across you, or something's gonna happen, and you're gonna realize, damn, this entire time I've been able to hold my own. Damn, I made it through this shit. That's crazy. You're gonna see. Watch. Something big is gonna happen in everybody's life. Big is based off your interpretation. But there's a shift that's gonna happen. Things gonna happen. You're gonna tear up a little bit, like, damn, I just knew it. I just fucking knew it. Like, I just sat there, and it's just like you're gonna smile a little bit. You're gonna shake your head. You're gonna be like, damn, that's crazy, and you might cry. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna cry, because it's just gonna be a form of release. But yeah, it takes a lot to understand about why we desire the things that we desire. It takes a lot for us to comprehend, why do we desire the things that we desire? And if we desire it so bad, why can't we get it? Why is it so hard to obtain? Is it hard to obtain, or is it harder to maintain it? There's nothing that's hard to obtain. If you really want to go get you some money, you can go get you some money. But can you obtain that money? And a lot of people think it's all about financial literacy, and it is. It is about financial literacy, but a lot of it is based off of a vortex field. That's why so many people sacrifice themselves and sacrifice others in order for them to stay into it. They're not even really in the vortex field. They pay to get in the room. They pay to get in the room that I naturally migrated into. We're not the same. You paid to get in somewhere that I naturally was invited to. We're not the same. And it just makes me think how I'm wearing my girl. You paid to get in a room that I was invited into. I want y'all to think about that from June until January. I want y'all to think about that. I want y'all to think about it when you see people in the world. I want y'all to think about what y'all see what's going on in society. I want y'all to think about it when people are paying to get in rooms that you were naturally invited to. I mean this in the physical form. I mean this in the spiritual form, financial. People are paying to get in rooms that you were invited to. Watch. It makes me think of Harry Potter. Do y'all know how Harry Potter got his invitation to go to Hogwarts? By a bird. But I digress. Man, ever since you said that about maintaining, I've been seeing how things have become easier. Facts. I spend bread. I ain't never spent bread like how fast I've been spending money lately. And it's all on shit that I really say I keep needing. And it's like I had the decision to like either go on a trip or like go shopping. And I was like, well, I'd rather just go shopping. Sometimes I realize that God says, I got an easier way for you to have things. I'm going to make it an easier way, but until I can get you in that, can you go do something else? And I say, yeah, I can do that. I want to get anything that I've ever asked for. I want to go anywhere that I've ever asked for in God's way. God's way is the easiest way. It don't cost me no money. I ain't got to do too much. And all I got to do is just chill. That's what I want. I want to go everything God's way. If it can't come in God's way, then hey, I guess I just don't want it. But one thing about two things for sure, I know that there's a lot of things that my heart desires that's coming up in this next season of my life, in this next year of my life. And I feel like because I desire it so bad and I'm trying to get there so bad, is because of the fact that there's an invitation coming in the mail for me. So, dang, I said I was gonna leave, and then here I am talking. Yeah, that's it. That's really it. Okay. But I love you guys. I really have to go. I'll talk to y'all later.